Well, guys, we are at GRASSMEN HQ today, and we have two very special visitors with us. We have Christina and Helen from the Farm Families Health Checks. So, Christina, I'm just going to come straight to you. Just explain to us a little bit, what is Farm Families Health Checks?
Farm Families started way back in 2012, and at that stage Doreen Bolton led the programme. I know a lot of you will remember Doreen from a few years back. At that stage it was funded by DAERA and the Public Health Agency, and it was delivered regionally by the Northern Trust. The aim of the programme was to improve the health and well-being of farmers, farm family members in rural communities, by providing health promotion and health screening. I think, farmers generally would tend to put off going to the doctor. They do have a very, very busy lifestyle, and sometimes something will happen in the farm, maybe even if they have an appointment. Maybe there could be a cow calving or just something happens and then they don't go. Also, farmers we would find are probably quite stoic and have a tendency to just get on with things. And I think men as well in general, quite often tend to ignore symptoms maybe and just sort of think, that'll be okay. So I think this programme was really set up then to offer convenience to the farming community, and they've got to know us over the years and they're familiar now seeing us around the markets and know what we are, and it does offer a very convenient service where they can just come in and get their MOT check, and they get the results there and then, and it takes about 20 minutes. They don't need to dress up. They just pop in, dirty wellies and all, so there's no problems there. We're used to that now.
You'll handle it. Well, Helen, I'm going to just bounce over to you. This is a fairly large van, almost small lorry nearly, and you arrived in here this morning and just pulled outside and reversed in like a pro, so you must enjoy driving whenever you're doing this.
Yes, well, it was definitely different, but this is our van and there's almost 100,000 mile on her, and she's been around a lot of mucky fields, tight corners and tight spaces, but when we get ourselves in a pickle, usually there's helpful farmers there to help us out again.
Well, I would just like to say at this time, I have jump-started your van, I have towed your van. We have helped. We have helped in the past.
You're one of those.
But, so what exactly, if I can just stay with you, Helen, what exactly is the van? Can you just talk us through, how does it work? And I understand we're in COVID times now, but normally, how does it work? So if I turn up, I just walk in?
Yes, you just come into the van. You don't need to make an appointment. We're here, and if you go to shows, go to markets. The shows unfortunately have been off. Come to the markets. We normally have an office on either side of the van where we can deal with two clients, but in COVID times now we just have one client in the middle of the van. We have our farmer in the middle of the van, and we socially distance then on either side, and Christina and I work together with that and go through the programme. Since September time we have been able to get out and about around the markets again, and with some just changes to the way that we have carried out the health checks, we have managed very well, and we have had a really good reception in the marts, and the farmers have been glad. Some of them are scared to go to their GPs, so this is where they can come and get their health check done, and without any sort of formal appointments being made.
Do you really enjoy it, Christina? Is it something that you look forward to doing?
No, this was just my dream job. I am farming background, so I know the pressures that farmers can be under, and I remember seeing the van way back years ago at Ballymoney Show and thinking, oh, I would love to work there. And eventually then 4 years ago, there was a job advertised, so I applied for it, and I've been working there ever since. And it's a really brilliant job. It's a great initiative, and it's so rewarding as well whenever you get people coming back and saying, oh, you've helped me do this, and I have improved my health, and you've really made me think about my health. And we've had the odd person coming back and saying how something really quite serious was picked up,
yes,
and they were able to get themselves sorted out.
Well, I know from personal experience and you know, attending the shows, and I'd be no stranger, maybe in a quiet moment or two of popping in and getting told off in a nice way. But if I just step in there and go into one of the offices, you know, what sort of things happen?
Well, first of all, whenever you come in, you really need to complete a consent form just to keep everything right. And you know, we just want to ensure people that they know that everything is completely confidential. And then after that's completed, then we commence our health assessment. So it's all the details are recorded on our database. So everybody gets a fair and equal assessment. And then depending on the answers they give, then you know, the assessment is tailored to their needs. I think it's really important to get to know your numbers. So we do blood pressure. We can check your cholesterol in 6 minutes, which is really convenient. And we do height, weight, waist circumference, and then from those measurements then we can go on and talk about your risk of type 2 diabetes, also the Q risk score, which is your chances of heart disease in the next 10 years. And it just is it's quite a holistic assessment, and it gives you a really good overall picture of where you're at and just how you can improve.
Yes, and I mean, Helen, from my personal experience of going in for the checks, I actually, in some ways, they're okay. I'm not going to hide behind the BMI issue or the weight, but my blood pressure and my cholesterol today, anytime we've got checked, has always been very good. But we're always getting a wee talking to about my waist circumference and my BMI and the risks of type 2 diabetes, which, you know, we're always working towards trying to help and improve that. It is it's not an overnight journey to make that happen, but do you find, you know, people like me benefit from coming and having a wee look? Do you keep in touch at all, or is it just in, check, out, or what, you know, is there any backup with this service once you maybe identify a problem?
Yes, we do have a backup service, a follow-up service within 12 weeks of your visit to the van, and sometimes our farmers are advised to go and see their GP. They find a high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or some other medical condition that they're advised to. So we do give them a wee ring, and I would be involved in giving them a ring back and seeing how they have got on, and that's where you get more job satisfaction, because you're finding that yes, they have lost weight, yes, they have gone, their blood pressure maybe has been detected as being very high, they've had their medication changed. They have sort of something that we have said in the van has triggered something with them to make a lifestyle change, or to go on a healthier.
Well, it's a great way to interact with people and ask, you know, one of the most important questions that I believe needs to be asked: are you okay? Because mental health is a massive problem, and we know within rural Ireland that mental health is a big problem. Is this something you find is helping? And, you know, can I just maybe ask you to your own thoughts on the mental health campaign? Because to me it's a very difficult, tricky subject to even talk about.
Yeah, we do obviously give farmers a chance to, you know, talk about their mental health. We do ask the question, and that's why it's so important to develop a really good rapport with our clients before they come into us. So we have about 10 minutes before we kind of approach that. So it's important, like, to let them know that we're approachable, that it's all confidential, and really try to get them to talk. We can then, you know, whenever we talk to them and we find there is issues going on, and we do know farming, you know, definitely has its ups and downs over the last few years, like from financial problems, there can be anything, to the weather as well really affects farming, and even the likes of Brexit and all. You know, there's been a lot of worries over the last couple of years going forward for farmers. So we do give them the opportunity to talk about it, and then we can sort of think about how best we can deal with this. Sometimes it's only just talking about it. You know, if you can talk to somebody and, you know, as they say, a problem shared is a problem halved. You know, and that is a very true saying. You know, sometimes that's all they need is just a face, somebody that's there, not to judge them, someone that's going to give them some help and support, and, you know, see where we can best put, you know, signpost them on to get more help. We work closely with rural support, so we can refer on there if it's issues, you know, from the farm. We can also, you know, sometimes it's just a matter of maybe going to discuss something with the GP. I think this last year, especially, you know, people have been very badly affected by the pandemic, especially young people as well. I think it's had a very adverse effect on young people. So, you know, I think we need to think about the public health agency's 5 steps to wellbeing, which is the Take 5 approach. And if we can incorporate that into our life every day, you know, we really will feel better. So the 5 simple approaches are keeping active, connecting with people, keep learning, give something back, and taking notice of everything around us.
You know, I find farming and agriculture and farmers, you know, they're outside a lot, and there's certain things they do that's good for their mental health. And there's maybe certain pressures that come in that's affect. But we touched on something there with you, Christina, about the younger generation and education and stuff. Have you any sort of tips that you would say to someone if they are feeling a bit overwhelmed watching this from a professional point of view, sort of some of the basic first steps that they could look at?
Yeah, I think it's important to get a focus. I know from a personal point of view, I think making a list sometime is a really good way to get focus, and then you can put a line through whenever you have achieved something. I think as well, maybe limiting your time in social media can be quite important as well, and just getting out there and being active and exercising a bit, you know, instead of sitting on the Xbox, you know, which is unfortunately, you know, what a lot of young people are doing at the minute. The other thing is as well, I think it's really important if you are feeling a wee bit low, just a friend that you really, really trust, or even somebody, if you're in Young Farmers, one of the club leader or anybody that you feel that can help you, or, you know, like a mentor or somebody that you really trust that you can approach and have a chat with them.
Yeah, well, I think that's very good advice, and thank you very much for coming today and showing us your van, and hopefully we'll see you out and about soon. And I do encourage anyone, when you see this van parked up, do step in and do get the quick MOT and see how you're going.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good. Okay.